you know, I wasn't gonna mess around with this much, but this is actually kind of cool. You know, I got this base graphic here, and you know, if we go to Filter, Sharpen, and Smart Sharpen, okay, you know, if you hold down, you know, you take your hand, you left click on it, you know, you can see the before and after. You know, there's just a subtle difference, and this is showing the end result out here. If you go, you know, click this out here, you know, you can change the you know, some of the different settings on it. Go back to Gaussian, but anyway, you know, in the image over on the left, you know, you can see, you know, how it's sharpened the image, because it is kind of blurry, you know, actually, and it did, you know, because normally sharpening sucks, but you know, it actually did an okay job. You know, if that's what you want to do, but you know, it's not perfect, you know, because, you know, there's always a consequence when you're sharpening your image, but still, it's actually pretty impressive, you know, how this did kind of clear up the fuzz, because I didn't even notice it was fuzzy before I did this. You know, but you can see how much more crisp it is here. Anyway, you know, what's interesting about the Smart Sharpen, you know, if you hit Advanced, now firstly, though, hold on, is that more accurate? This is going to be a more accurate representation of what you're going to see, and supposedly this is the best, most realistic version to use. Another thing that's kind of cool is this preview window can move independently of your main window here, but you can also still, you know, hold down shift and scoot this around so you can see two different areas of the image at once if you want. So, but you know, it does have the advanced tab, so the advanced tab, you know, shadows, you know, you can fade out darker areas, you know, reduce the amount that the sharpen applies to darker areas, and, you know, change the radius, and but what it's really doing is just reducing the amount of the sharpening you added here. So, you know, you know, it's just affecting, you know, subtly, you know, different areas of the drawing. You know, it's undoing it across some of the color ranges. See, with all this, you know, pretty much here, I've pretty much undid all the sharpening, you know, that was added. But, you know, on the shadow areas, the dark areas versus the highlights. Anyway, I'll turn this back down. So, you know, this right here is kind of interesting. And if you bring this up, you can go to side by side and see what the output's going to kind of look like, you know, at various settings. You know, it tells you, you know, what the original would be, and, you know, what this would be. You know, for various file types like JPEG or GIF or whatever. So, of course, I find this hard to read, but you just the quality settings and so forth. You can do a preview on a web browser. But you can look at it on various potential devices, like the internet, etc. Supposedly this is something you want to have checked, and embed color profile is something you want to have checked according to that guy. But what's really cool too is that you can actually shrink the image here, so you can see how it changes the size and so forth. And also you can they got the ability to look at devices in download times. I set it to default to 56K, but if you're on like a cable modem, well, this is how long it would take to download the image, about 1 second. So it gives you some interesting data. And here you can actually see it on various devices. Which you can. There's also a device library, so this is malfunctioning. Okay, let's try this again. I don't know what happened. I don't know, this thing obviously has bugs in it. It doesn't work here. I had to close it down with a task manager. At any rate, I would say that was cool, but so the printer has some pretty cool selections, because if you choose paper and so forth, it has library paper, so if you're printing on some kind of blue background paper, it'll you can reflect that. But at any rate, Okay, that pretty much does it for that Adobe Photoshop CS5 full tutorial 12 that I've got bookmarked in YouTube on the internet computer. That covers the entire 6 hours and 14 minutes of this training plus a couple of other tutorials. Now I'm going to goof around with this thing and see if I find anything else interesting. So, but that does it for this video.